Hello and welcome to Peg Pong, channel where I do match reviews, I do information videos, as well as talk about things I do in my game to improve that you can incorporate in your game to improve as well. So today we're going to be talking about how to improve the physical side of table tennis. And I've teamed up with Kevin Finn. He is the author of this really great book that I've read, and kind of the reason I wanted to make this video, which was because it was such an eye-opening experience. He is a strength training and nutritional consultant based in New Jersey, so I reached out to him to make this video, and now we're here. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to improve your stamina for playing many matches and tournaments, and no, it's not just like going for a long run or riding your bike. And we're also going to be talking about how to improve your leg movements, making your movements sharper and faster and more springy.
Oh yeah, another Shushin special.
We'll also talk about how to increase strength throughout your whole body while not necessarily getting bigger or massive muscles. And on top of that, we're going to talk about how to then transfer that strength into explosive power that converts directly into your strokes and movements in table tennis. I think as table tennis players, we're always trying to find a way to improve or hit a new level in table tennis. And for me, I really wanted to dig deeper into the physical side and kind of understand the real science behind it. And thankfully, Kevin has a really deep understanding of that. So as I go through my tournaments and I watch the replays, I kind of see these areas where I want to improve. And I created a little wish list that I sent to Kevin and to see if he could kind of target those areas in physical training. And those are as follows. So I really wanted to be able to last longer in tournaments and matches because I felt like I was fatiguing 3/4 of the way through. I also wanted to keep improving my overall strength and power in my shots without becoming too bulky or adding too much weight. And for me, this is important because I move a lot and I really want to maintain a weight where I can kind of be very agile and quick on the table while still also packing a punch when I'm hitting shots. And that kind of leads me into my final one, which is I want to be able to move faster and be more agile, as sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit sluggish around the corners and moving around the table. So definitely finding a way to increase my kind of springiness when I'm playing and kind of move faster. So I got on a video call with Kevin to see if we could kind of grant this wish list of mine. And I've recorded it for you guys to see and maybe to help understand the science behind it. And so yeah, I know this video is a bit long in length, but I'm sure if you stick around, you'll come away with a really deep understanding of how to train smarter for table tennis. And for me, it was a lot of eye-opening concepts that I had never really heard about. So definitely something that I would highly recommend as it helped me a lot. So without further ado, enjoy the video. Hey Kevin, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's finally nice to put a face to the name and finally get to talking.
Likewise, I watch your YouTube videos all the time.
Cool.
So I looked over the email you sent me with some of your goals, and I put together a great plan for you. So really looking forward to doing this with you. Are you familiar with the strength speed continuum?
Yeah, I am a little bit. I read your book, which was very insightful, by the way. I really liked it. And I went over it, but if you could kind of go over it a little bit more in detail, that would be pretty helpful.
Yeah, no problem. So the strength speed continuum is just another representation of the force velocity curve, and it's a way of showing the inverse relationship between force and velocity. So you mentioned you're interested in getting stronger, but not necessarily building more muscle. You're already kind of pretty muscular. And so the way we would do that is by starting at the beginning there and working on maximal strength. And the funny thing is, the things that people do in order to avoid getting bulky is usually they say, I don't want to lift heavy. I don't want to lift heavy because it's going to make me bulky. It's actually the opposite. Bodybuilders use those higher rep ranges, that pump work. That's actually more efficient for building muscle than the lower rep strength work. So we actually want you training a little more like a power lifter as opposed to a bodybuilder. You can certainly still build muscle using heavy weights, but if we approach it correctly, that won't be a concern.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't want to keep gaining in size. I've been going to the gym, but I definitely feel like I'm getting to the point where I feel like I have enough like size that I can kind of utilize it to start being a little bit more efficient on the table.
Yeah, so a lot of what this strength work does is it focuses on neurological strength. So it's getting your body a little bit more efficient and tapping into the strength and power that's already in your muscles.
Hmm.
And so the way we do that is you would kind of warm up and find a weight that feels really heavy and challenging within that like 3 to 6 rep range, and then leaving a few reps in the tank. You don't need to train to failure is a
Yeah.
great way to do that. If you know your 1 rep maximum, you would just take a percentage of that and make sure that you're training in the right intensity zone. If you don't know your 1 rep max, you can just warm up until you feel like it's heavy enough and challenging, or you could use something like an AMRAP where you test your 8 rep max and you put that into a calculator, and that will give you an estimate of your 1 rep maximum.
Okay. And that's a great way to build strength without getting like bigger muscles.
Exactly. Yeah, you can keep the volume pretty low and keep the effort high, training for maximal strength, and you'll get way stronger, and you don't need to get heavier if you don't want to.
Cool, cool. And
And
as far as, sorry, what?
I was just going to say, and then as far as your other goals, maybe you're going
Okay.
there as well.
Yeah.
Building some of that springiness. That's where we start to move down the force velocity curve or the strength speed continuum, and focus more on strength, speed, power, speed, strength. Things like plyometrics, where we're jumping, medicine ball throws. That's going to help you tap into that strength and express it more quickly, improving your rate of force development. And
Okay.
so I've got some good exercises lined up for you that's going to work on that. Pogo jumps come to mind as a great way for building that springiness. The med ball throws are excellent as well, very high velocity movements. So we're going to be covering those areas of the strength speed continuum because um, perhaps counterintuitively, if you want to get faster, just only doing speed work isn't your best path. Or
Hmm.
if you want to build power, you can't just focus on one end or the other. They all feed into each other. And so
Okay.
research has shown if you happen to be a little force deficient, building your strength will improve your power outcomes faster than just focusing only on power movement or only on speed stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really about focusing on everything in due turn and allowing them to feed into one another to improve your top end.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm getting is that each kind of area, whether you're targeting like speed or strength or acceleration or explosiveness, each kind of has its own set of parameters that you have to hit in order to actually train them, which is maybe something that a lot of table tennis players make a mistake is they kind of bunch it all together and do like something. Maybe you could explain a little bit more of that because that's something in your book.
Yeah, I can tell you've read my book. And if you've read my
Yeah,
book, you know I mention
yeah,
the
yeah.
3-in-1, the 4-in-1 conditioners, right? So these are the types of workouts that I'll explain the analogy. So, people get these shampoo and conditioners, and it ends up not being a very good shampoo and not being a very good conditioner because they're both kind of competing with each other. And that's what the mistake athletes make when they make a workout where they do like an agility ladder and then some burpees and then some sprints and then push-ups, and they're just moving from one exercise to the next. And they think, all right, well, push-ups are targeting my strength and the sprints are targeting my speed and the agility ladder is making me more agile. But what they're actually doing is kind of giving themselves a conditioning workout because they're not resting properly in between sets. Maybe their push-ups, they're doing like sets of 20 or 30, which actually is more of a muscular endurance stimulus, not a strength stimulus. And so what you need to do is make sure you're training properly, having the right intensities, the right rest periods in order to target those strength, speed, and power outcomes.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely been a victim of that. I put like push-ups, I do some frog jumps, then I do a couple sprints, and then maybe some ladders, and then maybe some like ab crunches. And I'm like, all right, I really targeted a lot of good stuff in here. And at the end of the day, maybe I was just targeting maybe a cardio workout instead of
Yeah.
all the specifics that I need to be targeting.
Yeah, I mean, social media really has done no favors for athletes in this regard because things get cut and clipped together, and it looks a little bit like uh, a circuit or something. And not that there's anything wrong with circuits per se, but sometimes those rest periods get clipped out, or they're just not in there at all, and the trainer or the athlete doesn't really understand the importance of those rest periods. Um, We can be efficient with training, and as you'll see, the workout I designed, we do have some circuits and some supersets and things like that, but you have to do it properly so that, if you're working the lower body, then maybe you insert an upper body movement. So the lower body is resting during the upper body movement. You can be strategic with it
Yeah.
while, without making your cardiovascular system the limiting factor.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot of good information. I'm excited to come out and to work with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. And just so I can, get this right, you are a consultant and a fitness. I don't know. You work with people. Maybe you can go over
Yeah.
more of that.
Online trainer might be the easiest way to describe it. So most of my athletes I work with remotely. So they're from all over the world. We hop on a phone call kind of like this. We talk about their goals. I come up with a custom plan that's targeted for them. I deal with training, nutrition, psychological skills, things that I outline in my book. And then they do their training program, and I kind of touch base with them weekly and keep them accountable and motivated and make adjustments to their program. Yeah, it's something I really enjoy doing.
Perfect. Is there like a website or something they can go to kind of start this?
Yeah, peakperformancetabletennis.com is like my central hub where I have all my information. There's lots of free resources there. I've got a peak performance cheat sheet and some downloads, a free monthly research review where I pick the best studies that I found that relate to table tennis and give a short, concise breakdown of the study and what you can do to improve your game based on it. And social media wise, I do have a YouTube channel. It's mostly like exercise demonstrations. So
Yeah.
if you want to see, there's a pretty big library of different movements that you can look at. And then I'm most active on Instagram at Peak Performance Table Tennis.
Well, great. I'll definitely leave that in the link in my videos so that people can click that and they can get started on that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
So when are you coming out to New Jersey?
Well, I can pack my bags and we can get it going.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right, perfect. I'll see you, Kevin.
See ya.
All right, bye. Hey guys, we made it to New Jersey with Kevin, and we're gonna get started on our fitness. So what do you think's first?
We're going to start off with some speed, agility, and plyometrics. And so we're going to be heading out to the field and getting some work in.
Sweet.
All right,
Let's do it.
let's go.
All right, so we're heading to the park, and we're gonna start warming up. Yeah, what are some important kind of notes about warming up?
So the first thing you want to do with a warm-up is reduce your chances of getting injured in whatever activity you're preparing for. So one study that comes to mind is by Body and colleagues, and they interviewed 100 table tennis players, and over half of them said that the main reason they get injured is because of a poor warm-up.
Wow.
So it's really something you want to pay attention to. You don't want to skip over it.
I hear a great big deal about static stretching versus dynamic stretching. What's your kind of take on that? One being more like movement oriented and one being more like stationary oriented.
Yeah. Static stretching is great for increasing range of motion, but it doesn't actually raise your core temperature. So if that's all you're doing as part of your warm-up, you're literally not warming up.
Okay.
So you want to include it as part of a broader warm-up that has dynamic stretching, some movement prep, things that are going to get your blood flowing, and you hitting positions and movements similar to the activity you're going to be performing, but just at a lower intensity.
Okay. So it's okay to include some static stretches in that overall.
Absolutely.
As long as you're including both.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. So we're going to be starting with some light tier plyometrics. These are called Pogo leaps.
Okay.
And so the idea here is you're bouncing off the ground really quickly, and you're trying to attack the ground and get off really quick with a kind of a stiff landing. You're not cushioning the landing too much and bending a lot at the knees.
Yeah.
You're staying fairly stiff.
Yeah.
And what this does is it develops a quality called stiffness, which sounds like a bad thing because we usually think of being stiff as being like inflexible or you can't move. But stiffness is actually a quality that where your body can kind of harden up in anticipation of contact and transfer energy more efficiently. Kind of aim for a full foot landing or balls of the feet. You're not up on your toes, you're not back on your heels, and you're just kind of popping off the ground thinking toes up, toes up.
Toes up.
Yep. And it says light tier. I'm not going max, all out. You want to ease into higher intensities. And a light tier plyometric is going to be good to prep your body for some of the speed work we do later.
Yeah.
So it's really almost like an extended part of the warm up.
Okay.
Toes up, toes up, toes up. Bring the arms in. There we go. Nice. And you can cut it there.
Okay.
And just do a walk back rest.
And a walk
so you
back
walk
rest.
back.
Okay.
So it's not super fatiguing, right?
No. That wasn't
But
too bad, yeah.
It's really about doing these a lot with a variety of movement patterns and building up volume over time. And that's going to start to develop those sub-qualities, those adaptations to your tendons and connective tissues that you want.
So define how long, because you said doing them consistently. How long should I do them to expect results?
Yeah, so you can definitely get some quick results right away, especially if you haven't done this type of training before.
Yeah.
But to really get those underlying qualities developed, it might be around 6 months or so of consistent plyometrics where you're building up. So, one way that we can be more efficient and get through the workout more quickly is just by utilizing the rest period that we would use in between the lower body plyometrics to get some upper body power work in. So this first exercise I'm going to show you is a rotational med ball slam.
Yeah.
And this looks like this. So you're bringing the ball up, kind of getting up on your tippy toes, slamming down, catching it.
Sweet, yeah.
Then up this way, up, boom, like that. So these are kind of max effort. You're going to slam. I do 3 per side for 6 total reps. And then you cut it. The idea is maximum velocity, maximum intent, ending, you're still fresh.
Yeah.
So you're not going until you're like exhausted.
Yeah.
You're keeping it fresh, keeping it explosive. And that's really gonna improve your rate of force development. Like if you're doing a table tennis stroke, the last thing you wanna do is, all right, I stop here when I hit the ball.
Yeah.
No, you're hitting through the ball. You don't wanna just simulate a table tennis stroke with something like a dumbbell. Because the force vector, like gravity's pulling the dumbbell down, where that's not really the force vector that you're going. You know, the force vector is this way. So a band would be better than a dumbbell, but something like this I like even a little bit more because you're really actually just hurling the implement. It's this velocity, like maximal velocity based movement, and I think it translates a little bit better. Kind of helps you connect your strength and power to your actual strokes. Yeah, very nice.
Is that all right?
Yeah, good. So you might not want to like dip as low.
Okay.
You can kind of make it more like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is slippery.
It is a little slippery,
bit, but yeah, you don't have to sink super low on it.
All right, let me do one more.
As you get practice and coordinate with it more.
Kind of like that. It's not.
Yeah, and you can draw a bigger circle. Yeah. So this next movement is a split stance pogo leap. So same cueing as before, except instead of having your feet square, you're going to have one in front of the other.
Wow.
And so what this does is it narrows your base.
Yeah.
So now there's more of a stability requirement.
Yeah.
So we've kind of upped the intensity a little bit, even though this will still be under that kind of light tier level. So not going max effort, leaving a lot in the tank, but you're same kind of cues and you're going like this.
Wow. Yeah. That's cool.
So you can go some like this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1,
Whoa.
2, 3, 4, 5. So that one, you're looking to make your feet land at the same time and still like kind of full foot or ball of the foot landing and toes up, bouncing off the ground.
Whew. That was all right?
Yeah, that was good. So it's still, you're working on those same qualities, but you're just introducing that movement diversity.
Okay. How many times would I go back and forth?
So I would do like, 10 landings and then like walk back rest, and then we would go back to another med ball.
Yeah.
Next exercise will be a chest pass.
Okay.
So this is working on some upper body power in a way that really allows you to launch the ball. And while you're doing this, your legs are recovering and resting from the split stance pogos.
Okay.
So it's just a really good way to get in. So it's pretty easy, and you can either, if you don't have a partner with you, you just throw it out to the field.
Into the field.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
good.
I would start, honestly, a lot of times I start with like a tall kneeling chest pass like this. And that's kind of isolating the upper body more.
Yeah.
From there, you can move to a standing chest pass, and then eventually you could have like a running start where you're like really, so you can scale the intensity up.
Okay.
So feet kind of shoulder width apart, stand strong, holding the ball here, so not like high or low, and then I can pass it out, and then partner can catch.
Here and then.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
all right?
So this is only a 6-pound ball, by the way.
Wow.
Which maybe I should have mentioned earlier. A big mistake is going, you know, because you're a strong guy, you know, you're like 6 pounds. What?
That's nothing.
But this is kind of big, and it's a little bit. You actually want to really focus on that more speed end of the spectrum. Yeah, you're teaching your body to tap into the power that you have more quickly.
Yeah.
So that's called rate of force development. So it's like your body sends these signals through the neurons to the muscles to activate and fire. And so what you're doing is you're kind of teaching yourself to be a Tesla, not a semi-truck.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like powerful, but super slow to get going.
Yeah.
You want to be able to tap into that instantly.
So it's actually very different than lifting a 200-pound like squat or something.
Yeah, that's a different stimulus. That is great for max strength, and there's a part for that, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But if you only do that, you're missing out on that higher velocity end of the curve. So for this next movement, we're going to be working on bringing in some lateral movement, which is
lateral.
very, very specific for table tennis. And one of the reasons I don't always do just lateral work is because you get a lot of that in table tennis already.
Yeah.
So we do want to include linear movement and acceleration, but this lateral stuff is important too. So this will be a lateral bound, and we'll kind of move this up to more like a little bit medium tier, so a little more than the light tier in intensity wise, but still not all out.
Yeah.
And for this, a bound is where you take off on one foot, you land on the other. Okay, so you're going to go this way, boom, boom.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Boom.
This kind of reminds me of this Ninja Warrior where they're jumping off.
Oh,
the
yes,
sides
yes,
of
I've seen that. Yeah, exactly. So you can start off by trying to stick the landing.
Yeah.
That would, like that.
Yeah.
And you want to land, get a good plant position, and don't let your knees spill out over your toe.
You want to keep it on the inside
this
of your
way because you're
leg.
going back this way.
Gotcha.
But for something to be plyometric, you actually need a landing and a takeoff, and that needs to happen kind of quickly.
A landing and a takeoff.
Yeah. So you start off, you can do stick the landings, but eventually you can get a little more.
Wow, that's
Bouncy.
so cool.
Right.
It's very
and that
dynamic.
Yeah, that dynamic pop off the ground is training your elastic strength. So this next drill is going to be a med ball move, catch, and throw.
Yeah.
So I'm going to toss it out to you to the side. You're going to shuffle laterally, catch the ball, and then throw it right back to me. I'll catch it, and I'll throw it out to the other side.
Okay.
And we'll kind of go back and forth like that.
Yeah.
And then so we're moving a little bit closer towards the agility side of things, especially because I could start randomizing which way I throw it. So you're always returning to that central kind of ready position, just like you would during a game.
Yeah.
But you're having to react and shuffle out to one side or the other and toss it. So what you want to look to do is you're catching the ball, you're moving and catching it and loading at the same time. So you're kind of preloading the movement.
Yeah.
And you're turning at the hips to really toss the ball. And the arms are just delivering the ball. So you're not
using
catching
the arms.
it and chucking it.
Do you want to try 2 or 3 so that I can see how it's done?
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Oh, sorry.
I got it.
Nice catch.
And so you're trying to be pretty explosive in this.
Yeah.
One more. Here we go. Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So from here we can move on to some of the agility work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next drill is working on linear acceleration. And when we're talking about agility, one important thing you want to keep in mind is there needs to be some kind of perceptual component to it where you're reacting to something that's happening in the environment.
Gotcha.
And so we do get a lot of that in table tennis, but you can work on your starting like linear acceleration speed by reacting to something like a ball drop.
Yeah.
So with this, I'm going to hold the ball. I'm not going to tell you when, but I'll drop it, and you want to run and catch it before it bounces twice.
Okay.
Pretty good.
This is what I do.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah,
this is
one more. I
all
can't
right.
end
One more. You
can't
got to end on a high note. Nice. That actually slipped out of my hand, so that surprised me as well. I didn't even know that was going in. All right. As soon as you get here, this is like the fork in the road. I'm going to toss the ball this way or this way, and you got to run around and try to catch it.
Okay. So I'll know which direction you're kind of going.
Yeah. So I've got you. You won't know until the last minute.
I think I can do this. I think I can do this.
Yeah. There you go.
Sweet.
So your intent is what's key.
Yeah.
You moving and reacting as quickly
fast
as
as I
possible.
can.
Whether or not you get to the ball and catch it is
It's
almost
not,
secondary.
it's the material.
Yeah. Oh, that was close. Nice. Nice.
Got it.
That's a couple of examples of different agility drills you could do. I wouldn't necessarily include this as part of a workout per se at this stage in the workout. These types of drills are great to do actually before table tennis.
Yeah.
After you do a general warm-up, move into a little bit of like linear acceleration or lateral acceleration with some agility in there, and that's really going to prime you and help potentiate or improve your performance in table tennis as well.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. What are
Ready
we
for
moving
hill
on?
sprints?
Yeah, I'm ready for hill
All right,
sprints.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hill sprints are really good because we're focusing on acceleration in this workout with our speed work, and that acceleration pairs well with the max strength work that we're going to be doing later.
Yeah.
Because when you're accelerating, you have longer ground contact times and there's a strong push off. So you're putting a lot of force into the ground, just like you would with a back squat or a deadlift. When we're going to the hill, you want to kind of look for a hill that has a 5 to 10% grade, something that takes you about 5 to 15 seconds to get up. So generally we might do something like 3 to 6 sprints with something like 60 or maybe 90 to 120 seconds of rest in between attempts.
Yeah.
And you just kind of play it by ear. But if you have like 4 or 5 sets scheduled, but you notice after the third one you're kind of tanking and slowing down a little bit, you stop it there.
And so how is this different than, because in table tennis, a lot of it's just lateral, side to side. Why is running straight forward important to, instead of just doing lateral stuff?
Yeah, so to your point, table tennis is a lot of lateral movement, so you're already filling that bucket quite a bit with your table tennis training.
Yeah.
So with linear acceleration, because you're able to move faster in a straight line, you're tapping into higher speed thresholds and
Gotcha.
hitting an extra gear that
Hitting
you can't
another
get
gear.
going laterally.
Side to side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So,
So here we have the hill.
oh, nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a nice incline. That's
Yeah.
like 5 to 10%, or I don't know, but it's kind of
Yeah,
close, right?
we'll play it by ear. Sometimes you have to use the hill that you have.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. 998.
998.
Yeah, so we're right in that, I said 5 to 15 seconds. It's right
Yeah.
in the sweet spot there.
Great.
3, 2, 1, go. Nice. 947.
What was it?
947.
947?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it
That
again.
was faster. Yeah.
Yeah, usually my second and third are the best.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. 933.
I'm getting faster.
Yeah, you're getting faster and faster. It's working already.
I'm getting faster, guys.
3, 2, 1, go. All right. 945.
I'm getting slower.
A little slower.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's all right. Fatigue's starting to set in. So you're still your second fastest. So this is the point where you're definitely winded enough that you'd want a good 2-minute rest period to recover.
Yeah.
So you keep doing this, I'd say 3 to 6 sets would be plenty.
Yeah.
And so you just did 3 pretty hard ones. So if you want to
Yeah.
stop it there, you could.
Yeah, let's
And
stop
that's-
it.
Yeah.
That was good. No.
Because you want to leave some in the tank for the gym.
Yeah, so let's say I did stop it here. Would I still be getting benefits?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't need to burn myself
So
out, right?
yeah, sprinting is not a high volume endeavor. So you're really, it's a high, very potent stimulus.
Yeah.
It's really something that nothing else can give you. It's the most athletic thing that your body can do. And so you want to, a little goes a long way.
Okay.
Yeah. So after this, we'll be heading to the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, to work on some strength.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's go. So now that we've moved into the gym, we're going to start working on maximal strength. And you mentioned how you didn't want to
increase your body weight too much. You're
Yeah.
not looking to put on additional mass. You've got some good muscularity already.
Yeah.
But you are interested in getting stronger and more powerful.
Yes.
So the nice thing about strength work is it is less efficient from a muscle building standpoint, so it's not going to easily put on a lot of muscle,
Yeah.
but you can build an incredible amount of strength with some basic compound movements.
Yeah. So this is strength versus
Size or
Size
hypertrophy,
or
where you're looking to
hypertrophy.
build muscle, or something like muscular endurance, which would be higher rep ranges.
Okay.
So when you're looking to build strength, somewhere in the 3 to 6 rep range is a good area. So you can actually, with lower volumes and managing your proximity to failure, get a really good increase in your strength without necessarily building a lot of muscle if that's not what you want to do. The main things we want to start with on a strength workout would be a heavy lower body exercise. So something like a deadlift or a squat would be good. So this is more of a posterior chain hinge pattern, where a squat would be more focusing on the front of the legs. It's knee dominant, quad dominant.
Okay. And this is you said a compound movement.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between like compound versus static?
So compound movement would be movements that are taking your multiple joints through the range of motion.
Okay.
And then it would actually be compound versus isolation. And isolation movement is
yeah.
like those single joint bicep curls, calf raises, things like that, where you're targeting smaller muscle groups.
Okay.
So these are bringing into play multiple groups of muscles, and your body's having to work together really hard of those muscle groups to lift the weight. And so it's really like the trap bar, or deadlift in general, is a great full body strengthening exercise.
Got you.
Almost like if you imagine someone had a rope tied around your waist,
Yeah.
and they were standing behind you and pulling that rope, you're actually going to hinge back and just let your arms fall at this pivot point right here like this.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of sink down into it a little bit like this.
Okay.
And your starting position, you want to have a flat back.
Yes.
You don't want to be rounded like this and hunched over.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So it's a quick hip extension like this, lower under control, boom, pop the hips.
Got you. Wow. I like it.
Yeah, so it's a great, great full body movement. You're hitting the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, the erectors, your grip is getting a workout. So there's a great study by Jimenez Reyes
Yeah.
and colleagues, and they looked at athletes and they tested them to see whether they were force deficient or velocity deficient. So basically, are you strong but slow, or are you pretty fast but weak? And what they did was, if you were fast but kind of weak and lacking in strength,
Yeah.
they gave them a muscle building or a strength building workout.
Like this.
Like this, and they saw faster improvements in power. So after this, after we do a lower body focused movement, we do upper body push, upper body pull. With strength work, you want to be resting 2, 3, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're really heavy on something like deadlifts, maybe even up to 5 minutes for some people.
Got you.
So instead of doing a set and then sitting for 2 minutes, you could do a set and then switch over to the opposing muscle groups. So the pull-ups are working your back, bench press is working your chest and shoulders, and so your back is resting
Yeah.
while you're doing the pushing set.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that.
Okay. So you can use something like a dipping belt,
Okay.
which this gym happens to have. If you don't have a dipping belt, you can take a dumbbell and kind of put it between your legs and tuck it like that and do that. And so we'd like to get the reps down to more like 4 to 6 maybe per set. And it's working your lats, it's working your biceps really well, it's working your upper back muscles. It's really like a full upper body or back exercise. Easy.
How many?
Nice. That was maybe 5.
All right.
So I feel like you probably could have cranked out a few more if you were really pushing it.
Yeah.
And so we could probably
We
go
probably
up a
could
little
have-
bit in weight if you wanted.
let's up it in weight.
Yeah. So we could go up to the 25. So
Yeah.
normally we would rest for we're still kind of warming up, but let's say that was your first working set. We'd rest like 2 or 3 minutes before hitting again.
Okay.
But in the meantime, if you want, we could go to our upper
Yeah.
body push.
Let's go do that.
And that's where it's actually called an antagonist paired superset because the pulling muscles and the pushing muscles are opposing, they're opposites.
Yeah.
So there's basically 5 points of contact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So like to kind of set up like this, get your shoulder blades back and retracted.
Yeah.
Okay. Take about like a medium width grip. unrack like this. And I like to think about pulling the bar down to my chest like this,
Okay.
lower part of the chest. And you want to keep your elbows stacked under your wrists, not like forward. Don't let your wrists break. Everything's stacked.
Underneath the wrists.
And then you throw the bar
nice-
up to
yeah.
the ceiling. Don't actually throw it, but that's a cue.
And then
throw it straight up. Yep.
And then is there a key to going slow down and fast up, or?
Yeah, always control the eccentric, the lowering portion, because that's actually a really key part of the movement. If you just let gravity do the work, you're cheating yourself. You're actually a lot stronger eccentrically than you are concentrically. Start light, do like somewhere like 2 to 4 warm-up sets, and then you're into your working weight. Somewhere like 4 to 6 rep range is a good place to start if you're focusing on strength.
Okay.
And then after you do your first set of this, then you go back to your second set of the pull-ups.
And for me right now, I would do a little bit heavier.
Yeah, I think you
Because we
could.
found that spot.
Yeah, you're just kind of figuring out where you are.
So let's say
And
I can
so-
do a couple more. Actually, let's say we add more weight.
Uh-huh.
And I find I dial it in kind of where I'm like doing 5, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
all I can do. How many times am I going to go through that 5?
I would say somewhere like 2 to 4 sets is
Okay.
a good starting place.
Just
If you're
5,
like just starting off
5,
with this kind of stuff,
5.
maybe 2 or 3 sets.
Okay.
And then as you are more experienced and maybe you feel like you need a little more volume, once progress is slowed, then you can start to add sets slowly.
Okay. And that's the
Yeah.
same thing that goes for
Same,
here.
yeah. So it would be like 2 to 4 sets of the deadlift, 2 to 4 sets of the chin-ups, 2 to 4 sets of the bench press.
The bench press, okay.
And then after that, we could pretty much be done gym-wise in terms of this workout because we got a lot of good work in out on the field, doing some plyometrics, some upper body power.
be a
with
complete day.
It would be a complete day.
Okay.
But for the sake of just showing you guys everything and giving a sample of different things you can do, we could also include some accessory movements and different types of exercises that may be on a different session that we would work in, because this covers a lot. You're getting a full body strength stimulus for sure with this,
Yeah.
but there's little muscle groups that are missed.
So is it
Yeah.
fair to say we could do show like a day 2, even because we haven't,
Yeah.
for the viewers so that they can see kind of what a day 2 would look like versus what today and.
Yeah, definitely. For the squat, you're gonna come up to it, pinching my shoulder blades back.
Yeah.
Take a deep belly breath. Stand up with it. Step back, 1, 2, 3. Try to make sure your feet are kind of shoulder width apart. Lower down. Stand up.
And then always exploding up. Slow down, exploding up.
Yeah. Okay, good. If this was our hypothetical day 2, since this was a heavy posterior chain, this would be your quad dominant, knee dominant type exercise. For the upper body, we did a horizontal push and a vertical pull. So it just makes it think horizontal and vertical. So we want to swap that out. We want to do a horizontal pull and a vertical push.
Okay. How do we
So
do
we're
that?
hitting those different planes of motion. So vertical pushes would be things like an incline press with dumbbells, or a standing shoulder press, seated shoulder press, anything like that. So it's a little more focused on the shoulders, little upper chest, still hitting triceps a lot. And then the horizontal pull would be like a row.
Yeah.
So a dumbbell row would be a really good option for that.
all
For
right.
dumbbell work, I like more moderate rep ranges.
Okay.
And I like to keep it nice and close. You can keep it like this and kick them back like this. I found I like to keep it closer, get tight, rock back, shoulders back, and get from this position.
Yeah.
And then you're just pressing straight up. And I like to modify to more of like a neutral grip.
Yeah.
I find I can get the range of motion down.
What's a non-neutral grip?
Like
that,
this.
okay.
Yeah. So rather than elbows flared like this, coming down, going to a neutral grip, elbows tucked, nice, deep, deep stretch, up
And
to the
up.
ceiling. Yeah.
Got you. All right.
So that would be your vertical push. And then for your horizontal pull, a nice way, one of the reasons why I chose the dumbbell incline press is because we can go right to a dumbbell row.
Okay.
Which you can use the same dumbbells, same bench, just adjust it down so it's flat. And you're rowing back like this. Almost like starting a lawnmower.
Huh. I like that.
And you're not going up like this.
Okay.
straight up and down. It's actually arcing back.
Arcing back, okay.
Yeah, so pulling to the hip.
Got you.
Good, and then switch to the other side right here. And I'm really just pulling with the elbow. And that helps you
Gotcha.
feel like you're activating the back.
Got you.
These compound movements are the best bang for your buck
Yeah.
in terms of efficiency, hitting multiple muscle groups in one shot.
Yeah.
But you do want to bring in some isolation work to hit
Isolation,
the
yeah.
movement, the muscles that kind of get shortchanged a little bit. Like the hamstrings, for example. On a deadlift, your hamstrings are working on hip extension. But another thing that the hamstring does is flex the knee.
Yes.
So you actually need to bring in some kind of leg curl in order to train that function.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Your external rotators are something that you want to pay attention to for shoulder health, which is really important for table tennis players. So things like face pulls or external rotations, where we're working these smaller muscles that they tend to get neglected by most of the major
Okay, so those would be very
compounds.
smart to hit as well.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to do too much maxing out on those, or
No, these are in higher rep ranges, and you're still focused on progression and getting a good feel for it.
Yeah.
But you're not like cranking out like max weights
Like
or
these
like super low
compound
weights.
movements.
No. And
That's
generally,
really great.
because they come at the end of the workout, you're already warmed up pretty well. And so you can just hop right into them. You don't need to do a bunch of warm-up sets
Yes.
for like a lighter movement like face pulls or something.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
Another thing that you would want to work in the more accessory part of the workout or towards the end would be some core work. Now, a lot of what we've done already, there's medicine ball throws, the heavy compounds, especially like deadlifts, the chin-ups. Your core is very active and working, so you're getting a great workout just from that. But there's some supplemental things we can do. Things like hanging leg raises are a great option. Very challenging. It's a lot of people have a misconception about not wanting to train their hip flexors because they think they're going to be tight and that's going to make me inflexible. But if you actually strengthen your hip flexors, that's not a bad thing.
Okay.
And it actually might help you get that range of motion that you were looking for. So the hanging leg raises can be used to target the hip flexors a little bit, or you can focus a little bit more on the abs. So for core, other options we could add on would be potential planks. There's a front plank, side plank.
Yeah.
There's anti-rotation stuff.
Kind of like
which is like
your traditional front planks. And
the thing that, if you're holding a plank for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, it's a little too long.
Yeah.
I think, at that point, the time investment is not worth the return.
Got you.
But there's certain tweaks you can do to make it a little harder. You can increase the lever length, so putting your elbows further out in front of you,
Yeah.
making it more difficult. Another option that you could do would be a Palloff press, and this is working on anti-rotation. So you step out, you have some kind of heavy thing pulling you this way, and you stand tall and push out like this. And this band, now that my arms are out here, it's really pushing me, or pulling me rather, and I'm just having to resist that. And I feel my abs on this side kind of cranking down. And you can do a few reps.
So you're feeling your abs
Yeah,
are
as you bring your-
stopping you from turning.
Yeah, I'm getting my obliques really
Okay.
activated from this. Okay, that's an anti-rotation movement. And then you would want to do both sides, so turn around and get this side as well.
Yeah.
Then there's things like forearm exercises, taking dumbbells. There's different variations you can do where you can have your hand kind of coming off and letting the dumbbell roll down,
Yeah.
and then bringing it up and then curling, working your flexors like this.
Yeah.
Or you could just go like this, getting a good stretch and bringing it up. Then there's the opposite, going this way. There is working on your grip strength, so actually pinching it. This is something Jusei Hook does. He has a video where he does this kind of finger strength training.
Wow.
And he said he really noticed a good difference in his feeling of holding the blade from having done this.
Interesting.
So that's another option. Or if you had 2 weight plates, you could pinch them together.
Yeah.
Do that pinch grip. Sometimes that you can bring in would be like finger extensors. So I have these things. So I've started to incorporate some of this type of stuff, just strengthening and trying to be on top of keeping this area strong
Yeah.
and resilient. There's certain ab machines that twist.
Yeah,
that
I have
work
done
in
that.
Yeah, those can be good because you're getting that rotational element
Yeah.
in there. So, yeah, all of that stuff more towards the end of the workout and higher rep ranges on average.
Yeah.
So that's about it for this session. Actually, there would be conditioning. So one more thing. Normally we do it on a separate session.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of showing the audience, we can run you through a conditioning workout in a way that's specific for table tennis. And this, again, if you did do it part of the session, it would come at the very end after all of the strength work and accessory work, or later in the day, or on a separate day entirely.
Okay.
It'd be a good time to get that conditioning
All
work
right.
in. You ready?
Yeah, I think
All
we
right.
can do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we're going to do some repeat sprints. So normally for table tennis, my advice to people is let table tennis be your conditioning. So let your drills, your multi-ball, if you got a robot, that's going to be the best way to build table tennis specific endurance.
Yeah.
But if you're limited on table time and you feel like you need to supplement with some additional sessions outside of the court, repeat sprints is a good option to do. What you want to avoid is just long, slow, easy jogs or easy bike rides, because that's really focusing on type 1 slow twitch fibers. And table tennis is all about fast, explosive movements with intermittent rest periods spaced in there.
Yeah.
So the predominant energy system that we're using is that anaerobic lactic energy system that's these short bursts.
Yeah.
Now, in between points, the aerobic system does come into play to help you recover. It's going to rapidly replenish the phosphocreatine stores, and you want to get a fast turnover of ATP.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do to prepare for table tennis is to kind of mimic that intermittent movement profile by doing intervals.
Okay.
So one way to do it would be you're going to sprint down, have one change of direction, sprint back. And then we're looking to hit about a 1 to 2 to 1 to 3 rest work to rest ratio.
Okay.
Because there's a study by Zagato and colleagues that showed, they analyzed table tennis matches and said on average this is about the work to rest ratio in a table tennis match. So we'll mimic that with our
1 to 3, you're saying?
Yeah. 1 to 3 or 1 to 2. So if you take 5 seconds to run up and down,
Yeah.
take about 10-second rest and then hit it again.
Gotcha.
And so what we're doing is we're just looking to repeat your performance as best as you can and maintain your speed under fatigue.
Yeah.
So this is a little different than speed work in that we're being a little more loosey-goosey in terms of, yeah, you're going to slow down a little bit.
Yes.
So, but we're really working on you maintaining that speed as best you can throughout each sprint interval.
Okay.
And once we hit beyond a 10% drop in speed, we would probably end it there.
Okay.
Ready, go. Finish strong, run through. Good. All right, so it's about 8:30.
Okay.
So rest like 16 seconds or so.
Yeah.
You can almost imagine yourself like going to pick up the ball, gathering your thoughts, right? The kind of a good opportunity while you're resting here is just to like focus on your breathing.
Yeah.
And like really try to get that recovery. Go. So it's really short rest periods. These are not really getting a lot of time. And as we keep doing this over and over again, it's just going to get harder and harder. 2, 1, go. Go. Nice.
I can do this all day.
All day.
All
We'll
day.
see.
All day. Come on.
Go. Nice. Even though you're doing more speed type work here compared to like a steady state, you're still getting a strong go. You're still getting a strong the other energy system supplement. So all three energy systems kind of contribute together to kind of improve his recovery. So the aerobic energy system is working a little bit.
Yeah,
You
it's
got your
aerobic.
Glycolytic one is going in there. So yeah.
So I think I would do a few of these maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah, go. Launching for you. Go. And go.
Finished!
8.65. You're
Sweet.
feeling it. Nice work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's been a lot of fun making this with you.
Yeah.
We've covered a ton of material,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm definitely going to start implementing some of this in my workouts. I'm tired. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this has been great.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. You've been a great great model athlete. Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next time and in the next video.